The unexpected invasion. Earth had always been a beacon of peace and progress. Technology was thriving, and people lived their lives in harmony. Cities were bustling with activity, and the skies were filled with the peaceful hum of advanced spacecraft. But this tranquil existence was about to be shattered. On an ordinary morning, as the sun rose over the horizon, a strange and ominous sight appeared in the sky. A fleet of alien ships, enormous and menacing, emerged from the dark reaches of space. They were unlike anything humanity had ever seen. Massive, sleek vessels that seemed to glow with an otherworldly light. At first, people thought it was a drill or a harmless show. But as the ships descended closer, their intentions became clear. The alien fleet was not here for a friendly visit. The atmosphere was suddenly filled with tension and fear. The first sign of trouble came when the ships began firing upon Earth's defenses. Missiles and laser beams rained down from the sky, hitting cities and military bases with terrifying precision. The once serene morning turned into chaos. Sirens blared, and people screamed as they ran for cover. Buildings crumbled under the relentless assault, and the sky was filled with smoke and debris. In the midst of this chaos, Earth's defense systems scrambled to react. Military commanders rushed to their command centers, trying to coordinate a response. Jet fighters took off in a hurry, and soldiers readied their weapons. But despite their efforts, the alien fleet seemed unstoppable. Their technology was far more advanced than anything humanity had ever encountered. As the hours passed, the reality of the situation became more apparent. Major cities around the world were under attack. Landmarks that had stood for centuries were reduced to rubble. The once powerful defense networks seemed powerless against the alien onslaught. The world watched in horror as their most cherished places were destroyed. Governments declared states of emergency. Leaders made desperate calls for unity and resilience, urging citizens to stay calm and follow evacuation orders. Yet the sheer scale of the invasion left many feeling helpless and afraid. It was clear that this was no ordinary enemy. Amid the confusion, scientists and engineers were working tirelessly. They scrambled to understand the alien technology and find a way to fight back. The attack had revealed a massive flaw in humanity's defenses. Despite all their advancements, they were woefully unprepared for such a powerful enemy. As night fell, the alien fleet's bombardment continued. People huddled in shelters, their faces etched with fear and determination. News reports showed the devastation and the brave efforts of those trying to defend their homes. The global community rallied, sharing information and resources in a bid to fend off the invaders. Despite their fear, there was a growing sense of unity. Ordinary people began to step up in extraordinary ways. Volunteers helped rescue survivors from the wreckage, and local communities banded together to support each other. The invasion had brought out the best in humanity, even as it revealed their most vulnerable points. The day ended with the world in disarray, but it also marked the beginning of a fierce resistance. Earth was under attack, but its people were not going down without a fight. The alien fleet had underestimated human resilience and ingenuity. As the alien ships loomed ominously in the sky, it was clear that the fight for Earth had just begun. The invasion had been swift and brutal, but humanity was far from defeated. With every passing hour, the determination to protect their world grew stronger. The unexpected invasion had thrown Earth into turmoil, but it also sparked a relentless spirit of resistance. The world stood on the brink of devastation, but hope and courage shone through the darkness. The battle for survival was just starting, and humanity was ready to face it head-on. Humanity's desperate response. As the alien fleet's relentless assault continued, Earth's leaders knew they had to act fast. The initial shock of the invasion had worn off, replaced by a fierce determination to fight back. The world's governments quickly moved into action, setting up emergency operations centers and coordinating a global defense strategy. In the United Nations headquarters, military officials from every corner of the globe gathered. They faced a daunting task: to devise a plan that could stand against the advanced alien technology. With Earth's cities in ruins and its defenses struggling, the urgency of the situation was palpable. The room buzzed with tension as the best minds of the military and science communities huddled together. Meanwhile, in underground bunkers and command centers around the world, scientists and engineers worked around the clock. They pored over the wreckage from the alien attacks, searching for clues about the extraterrestrial technology. Their goal was clear: find a way to neutralize the alien advantage and turn the tide of the battle. Dr. Emily Carter, a leading astrophysicist, was at the forefront of this effort. She and her team studied the alien weapons and shield systems, trying to understand how they functioned. Their findings were both fascinating and frightening. The alien technology was beyond anything humanity had ever seen: sleek, efficient, and devastatingly powerful. But amidst the complexity, they discovered a small vulnerability in the alien shields that could be exploited. Back on the ground, the military mobilized every available resource. Fighter jets scrambled into the sky, and soldiers prepared for battle. The global defense forces were a patchwork of different nations, but they shared a common goal: to protect their homes and loved ones from the alien threat. The sight of the coordinated response was both impressive and daunting. From makeshift command posts to high-tech war rooms, everyone was focused on the same mission. Military units from all branches worked together, sharing intelligence and resources to create a unified front. Despite the chaos, there was a sense of purpose that drove them forward. As the days passed, the human response began to take shape. The newly developed weapons, designed based on the scientists' breakthroughs, were tested and deployed. These weapons were not perfect, but they represented humanity's best chance of fighting back. The soldiers, now equipped with advanced gear, faced the alien forces with renewed determination. On the ground, civilians played a crucial role in the defense effort. Volunteers from all walks of life stepped up, offering their skills and support. Some helped build and repair defenses, while others provided food and medical aid to those affected by the attacks. The sense of community was strong, and people rallied together to face the crisis. Amidst the chaos, there were moments of bravery and sacrifice. Firefighters, police officers, and ordinary citizens risked their lives to rescue those trapped in the rubble. Their courage inspired others and gave hope to a world under siege. In the midst of these efforts, the alien fleet continued its bombardment. The attacks were relentless, and the damage was widespread. But humanity's response was equally determined. Each small victory in the defense effort was a testament to the strength and resilience of the human spirit. As the global defense forces and scientists worked tirelessly, a sense of cautious optimism began to emerge. The tide of the battle had not yet turned, but humanity was no longer sitting idly by. The initial despair had given way to a fierce resolve to protect their world. The battle for Earth was far from over, but humanity's desperate response had laid the groundwork for a fight back. The world was united in its determination to survive and overcome the alien threat. Each day brought new challenges, but it also brought new hope. The fight for Earth had only just begun, and humanity was ready to face whatever came next. Alien strength revealed. As the days wore on, the full extent of the alien fleet's power became clearer. Earth's initial optimism, fueled by a surge of resistance, was slowly overshadowed by the relentless display of alien strength. The alien ships, once a distant threat, now loomed ominously in the skies, their sheer size and advanced technology evident in every confrontation. The alien vessels were massive, dwarfing Earth's largest warships. They moved with an almost eerie grace, their sleek, metallic surfaces reflecting the sunlight with a menacing glow. Each ship was armed with weaponry that far outstripped anything humanity had developed. Their energy beams cut through armor and buildings as if they were made of paper, and their missiles were swift and precise. In military command centers around the world, the situation grew increasingly dire. Reports from the front lines painted a grim picture. Alien forces continued their relentless attacks, targeting strategic locations and vital infrastructure. Major cities were now unrecognizable, reduced to smoldering ruins. The loss of life and destruction was staggering. General Marcus Reed, one of Earth's top military leaders, stared at the battlefield maps with growing concern. The alien technology was proving nearly impossible to counter. Their shields were nearly impenetrable, and their weapons devastatingly efficient. Every time humanity thought they had found a way to gain the upper hand, the aliens adapted and countered with even more force. On the battlefield, the human forces were feeling the strain. Jet fighters, once the pride of Earth's military, were being shot down with alarming regularity. Ground troops faced overwhelming odds as alien drones and battle machines swept through their positions. The military had managed to develop new weapons and defenses, but they were struggling to keep up with the pace of the alien advances. Dr. Emily Carter, the scientist who had uncovered the vulnerability in the alien shields, found her team's progress stymied by the aliens' rapid adaptation. The technology they had worked so hard to understand was now evolving faster than they could keep up. Each time they developed a new strategy or weapon, the aliens seemed to anticipate and neutralize it almost immediately. Despite their best efforts, the human countermeasures were often ineffective. The alien fleet's coordination was flawless, and their tactics were both unpredictable and ruthlessly efficient. It became clear that the aliens had not only superior technology, but also a deep understanding of military strategy and combat. In the midst of the chaos, there were moments of intense battle that showcased the true scale of the alien threat. An attempted offensive in a major city turned into a disaster as the alien fleet launched a devastating counterattack. Earth's forces, caught off guard, were pushed back, and the city fell into the hands of the invaders. The scene was one of utter devastation, with streets strewn with debris and smoke rising from the ruins. The human response to these setbacks was one of grim determination. Leaders and soldiers alike knew that retreat was not an option. The very survival of the planet depended on their ability to adapt and fight back against an enemy that seemed almost invincible. Amidst the destruction, there were stories of incredible bravery. Individuals and small groups managed to hold out against the aliens longer than anyone expected. They fought with every ounce of strength they had, knowing that their sacrifices were part of a larger struggle. These acts of courage provided a glimmer of hope in an otherwise dark time. The revelation of the alien strength had a profound impact on both the military and civilian populations. It became clear that the fight was far from over, and the odds were not in humanity's favor. But even in the face of overwhelming adversity, there was a growing resolve to continue the battle. As the alien fleet continued its relentless assault, humanity was forced to confront a harsh reality. The fight for survival was going to be tougher than anyone had imagined. But in the face of such overwhelming strength, the spirit of resistance grew stronger. The battle was far from lost, and Earth's defenders were ready to face the challenge head-on. The turning point. As the alien invasion continued to ravage Earth, the situation seemed increasingly dire. Despite the valiant efforts of humanity's forces, the alien fleet's advanced technology and tactics had kept them on the defensive. However, in the midst of this chaos, a crucial breakthrough emerged that would become the turning point in the battle. The breakthrough came from an unexpected source. A team of engineers working at a remote research facility. Dr. Emily Carter, the lead scientist, and her team had been tirelessly analyzing the alien technology, searching for any weaknesses. After countless hours of experimentation and observation, they discovered a vulnerability in the alien shields. It was a small flaw, but one that could be exploited with the right approach. Dr. Carter and her team quickly relayed their findings to the military command. The information was met with a mixture of disbelief and hope. If this vulnerability could be exploited, it might finally give humanity a chance to turn the tide. General Marcus Reed, overseeing the operations, was cautious but hopeful. He knew this discovery could be their best shot at gaining an advantage. The military quickly mobilized to act on the new information. Plans were drawn up for a daring offensive designed to exploit the weakness in the alien shields. The strategy involved a coordinated strike using the newly developed weapons that were specifically designed to penetrate the alien defenses. The operation was risky but necessary. As the day of the offensive approached, tension and excitement filled the air. Soldiers, pilots, and support teams prepared for the mission with a mix of determination and nervous anticipation. The global forces were united in their resolve to make this counter-offensive a success. At dawn, the offensive began. Fighter jets, now equipped with the breakthrough weapons, soared into the sky. The plan was to target a specific section of the alien fleet where the vulnerability was most pronounced. The new weapons unleashed a barrage of firepower, aimed at the critical weak points in the alien shields. The initial results were promising. The alien ships, caught off guard, began to show signs of damage. The shields that had once seemed impenetrable started to falter. The alien fleet's coordination was disrupted as their defensive systems struggled to adapt to the new threat. On the ground, soldiers and support units moved into position to support the aerial assault. They prepared for a crucial follow-up operation that involved seizing strategic locations and maintaining pressure on the alien forces. The ground troops faced fierce resistance, but pressed on with determination. As the battle unfolded, the tide began to turn. The alien fleet, once dominant and seemingly invincible, was now facing a formidable challenge. The new weapons were proving effective, and the vulnerability in the shields was being exploited with precision. For the first time, humanity had a real chance to gain the upper hand. The turning point of the battle was marked by a series of critical victories. Key alien ships were destroyed, and the fleet's once impressive formation began to break apart. The aliens, who had previously seemed unbeatable, were now struggling to maintain their position. The sight of their once powerful ships falling in battle filled the defenders of Earth with a renewed sense of hope. General Reed and his team closely monitored the progress of the offensive. The success of the operation was not only a tactical victory, but also a significant morale boost for the global forces. The realization that they could actually defeat the alien invaders was a powerful motivator for the troops. As the day drew to a close, the alien fleet was in disarray. The counter-offensive had dealt a severe blow to their forces, and the momentum was shifting in humanity's favor. The breakthrough in technology had proven to be a game-changer, demonstrating that with innovation and perseverance, humanity could stand up to even the most formidable threats. The turning point was a moment of triumph amidst the ongoing struggle. It was a clear sign that the battle for Earth was far from lost, and that the tide could be turned in humanity's favor. With the newfound advantage, the defenders of Earth prepared for the next phase of their fight, knowing that the road ahead was still fraught with challenges but filled with renewed hope. The counter-offensive. After days of relentless alien attacks and mounting losses, Earth's defenders were ready to take the fight back to the invaders. The moment for the long-awaited counter-offensive had arrived. Military leaders and scientists had been working tirelessly, and finally, they had a plan that might turn the tide of battle. In the command centers around the world, a sense of urgency filled the air. The latest intelligence reports showed a potential weakness in the alien fleet's defenses, a small but crucial gap that Earth scientists had discovered. With this information in hand, the global military strategists crafted a daring plan to strike at the heart of the alien force. General Marcus Reed, the head of the operation, addressed his troops with a mix of determination and hope. "We've taken a beating, but we found a way to fight back. This is our chance to hit them where it hurts. Stay focused, follow the plan, and we can turn this around." As dawn broke, the first phase of the counter-offensive began. Fighter jets, now equipped with newly developed weapons, soared into the sky. These weapons, designed to exploit the alien weakness, were humanity's best hope for gaining an advantage. The jets formed up and moved toward the alien fleet with precision. On the ground, soldiers and support teams prepared for the second phase of the attack. They set up strategic positions, ready to support the aerial assault with ground-based operations. The coordinated effort was a testament to humanity's resilience and adaptability. The initial strike was a sight to behold. Explosions lit up the sky as the new weapons targeted the alien ships. The aliens, initially taken by surprise, scrambled to defend themselves. The human fighters, using hit-and-run tactics, managed to penetrate the alien shields and deal significant damage. The alien fleet's once unshakable formation began to falter. Despite the success of the initial strike, the battle was far from over. The aliens quickly regrouped and launched a counterattack. The sky was soon filled with the deadly fire of alien weaponry. Human fighters and ground troops faced fierce resistance as the aliens fought back with renewed fury. In the midst of the chaos, unexpected allies emerged. Small groups of rebels and resistance fighters, who had been operating in the shadows, joined the counteroffensive. Their knowledge of the alien fleet and their guerrilla tactics proved invaluable. They harassed the aliens, causing further disruptions and buying precious time for the main forces to advance. The battle raged on with intense ferocity. The air was thick with smoke and the sound of explosions. Ground troops fought bravely, pushing forward to take control of key positions. The alien forces, though formidable, were beginning to show signs of strain. The coordinated efforts of the human military and their newfound allies were having an impact. General Reed and his team watched the battle unfold from their command center. The sight of the alien fleet's defenses being breached filled them with cautious optimism. The tide of the battle seemed to be shifting, but the outcome was still uncertain. Every minute was critical, and the fight was far from over. As the day turned to night, the counteroffensive continued with relentless intensity. The alien fleet, now facing significant damage and disarray, struggled to maintain its advantage. Human forces pressed their attack, exploiting every opportunity to gain ground. In the heart of the conflict, stories of heroism emerged. Soldiers and pilots performed incredible feats of bravery, pushing through exhaustion and danger to achieve their goals. Their determination and courage inspired others and fueled the ongoing fight. The counteroffensive was a crucial turning point in the battle for Earth. The alien fleet had been dealt a serious blow, and the once dominant invaders were now facing a formidable challenge. The successful strike had demonstrated humanity's ability to adapt and fight back, proving that they were not to be underestimated. As the night settled over the battlefield, the defenders of Earth took a moment to regroup and assess their progress. The counteroffensive had brought hope and a renewed sense of purpose. The battle was far from over, but the success of the operation marked a significant step toward reclaiming their world from the alien threat. The human advantage. After the pivotal turning point in the battle, humanity began to see tangible results from their newfound advantage. The successful counteroffensive had not only disrupted the alien fleet, but had also given Earth's defenders a critical edge. Now, with renewed hope and determination, they pressed forward to capitalize on their progress. In the aftermath of the initial victories, General Marcus Reed and his team quickly recognized the opportunity to consolidate their gains. The alien fleet, once a monolithic force, was now showing signs of vulnerability. The global military command focused on exploiting this weakness, planning further assaults to push the advantage. The key to the human advantage lay in the new tactics and technologies that had been developed. The alien shields, previously impervious to attack, were now vulnerable thanks to the breakthroughs from Dr. Emily Carter's team. The new weapons, designed to penetrate the alien defenses, proved to be game changers. These weapons were deployed in increased numbers, and their impact on the battlefield was substantial. Human fighter pilots, who had once been outmatched by the alien forces, now engaged with renewed confidence. They used hit-and-run tactics to target the weaker points in the alien shields. The improved weapons systems allowed them to inflict significant damage while minimizing their own risks. The skies were filled with the vibrant trails of energy beams as the human forces fought back with greater efficiency. On the ground, soldiers adapted their strategies to support the aerial attacks. They focused on securing and holding key positions, preventing the aliens from regrouping or reinforcing their lines. The alien forces, struggling to adapt to the new tactics, found themselves increasingly pushed back. One of the most significant changes was the improved coordination among the global forces. The earlier chaos had given way to a well-organized and unified defense. Communication lines were established between different military units, allowing for real-time updates and coordinated strikes. This newfound synergy was a crucial factor in maintaining the human advantage. The aliens, despite their advanced technology, were not prepared for the swift adaptation of their opponents. Their previously dominant strategies were now being countered effectively. As the human forces pressed their advantage, the alien fleet began to experience internal strife. Commanders within the fleet struggled to keep their forces organized and focused in the face of the mounting pressure. Dr. Carter and her team continued to refine their understanding of the alien technology. Their research led to further improvements in the weapons and tactics used against the invaders. Each new piece of information helped to exploit the aliens' weaknesses more effectively, contributing to the growing success of the human efforts. As the battle continued, morale among the human defenders soared. The once unshakable fear and despair were replaced by a sense of optimism. The victories on the battlefield, combined with the visible progress in pushing back the alien forces, provided a much-needed boost to the spirit of the troops and the global population. Stories of bravery and resilience emerged from the front lines. Soldiers, pilots, and civilians alike displayed incredible courage and resourcefulness. Their dedication and sacrifices became a source of inspiration for others, fueling the ongoing fight against the alien invaders. Despite the progress, the battle was far from over. The alien fleet, though weakened, remained a formidable adversary. The human forces had gained an advantage, but they knew that the final victory would require continued effort and perseverance. The momentum was on their side, but the fight for Earth was still ongoing. The human advantage marked a critical shift in the battle, demonstrating that resilience and innovation could overcome even the most daunting challenges. As the defenders of Earth continued their efforts, they were driven by the knowledge that their hard-won victories had made a significant impact. The fight for their world was far from finished, but the tides had turned, and humanity was now on the path to reclaiming their future. The final assault. The turning point had come and gone, and humanity's forces were now on the cusp of a decisive confrontation. With the alien fleet weakened and their defenses compromised, the time had arrived for the final assault, a high-stakes operation that would determine the fate of Earth. General Marcus Reed, who had been leading the charge, knew that this was the moment to strike with all their might. The success of the previous operations had given the human forces a crucial edge, but they also understood that this final push had to be precise and overwhelming. Any mistake could mean the difference between victory and defeat. The plan for the final assault was carefully crafted. It involved a coordinated attack on the remaining alien strongholds, with the goal of crippling their command and control structures. The operation would be multifaceted, combining aerial bombardments, ground assaults, and specialized strikes aimed at the core of the alien fleet. At dawn, the assault began. Fighter jets roared into the sky, their engines thundering as they carried the newly improved weapon systems. The plan was to launch a series of powerful strikes designed to incapacitate the alien ships and disrupt their operations. The pilots, who had gained confidence from their recent successes, executed their maneuvers with precision. The ground troops, equally determined, moved out in a synchronized effort. They advanced toward key alien positions, using the intelligence gathered from earlier battles to target critical points. The terrain, scarred from previous conflicts, was now a battleground where every inch mattered. The initial phase of the assault was intense. Explosions erupted across the battlefield as the human forces unleashed their full firepower. The alien ships, already struggling to regroup, faced a barrage of attacks that further weakened their defenses. The skies were filled with the flash of energy beams, and the ground shook with the impact of missile strikes. One of the key elements of the final assault was the insertion of Special Forces teams. These elite units were tasked with targeting the alien command centers. Equipped with advanced stealth technology, they infiltrated enemy lines to plant explosives and gather crucial intelligence. Their mission was dangerous, but their success could turn the tide of the battle. As the day wore on, the human forces began to see results. The alien fleet, once a symbol of invincibility, was showing signs of collapse. Ships that had been a constant threat were now drifting, damaged beyond repair. The alien forces, disoriented and under constant attack, struggled to mount an effective defense. The final assault reached its climax as the human forces pressed forward with relentless determination. The coordination between the aerial and ground operations was flawless, creating a powerful and sustained offensive. The alien fleet, already reeling from the earlier attacks, found itself overwhelmed by the combined might of the human forces. In the heart of the battle, General Reed and his command team watched the progress with bated breath. The sight of the alien strongholds crumbling under the assault was a moment of vindication. The sacrifice and bravery of the troops had paid off, and the path to victory was becoming clearer. As evening approached, the alien resistance began to falter. The command centers targeted by the special forces were destroyed, causing chaos and disarray among the remaining alien units. The once mighty fleet was now in disarray, with ships retreating or surrendering. The final hours of the assault were marked by a mixture of relief and triumph. The human forces had succeeded in their mission to dismantle the alien threat. The remaining alien ships, now heavily damaged and disorganized, had no choice but to withdraw. The skies, once filled with the menacing presence of the invaders, were now clear. The victory was hard-won and came at a significant cost, but it was a moment of immense pride and accomplishment. The final assault had not only reclaimed Earth from the alien invaders, but had also demonstrated the strength and resilience of humanity. As the battle drew to a close, the defenders of Earth took a moment to reflect on their achievements. The final assault had marked the end of a harrowing chapter and the beginning of a new era of recovery and rebuilding. The fight had been fierce, but humanity's determination had prevailed. The aftermath. With the final assault concluded, the battle for Earth was over. But the true scope of the conflict's aftermath was just beginning to unfold. The once feared alien fleet had retreated, and the skies were clear of the ominous presence that had threatened humanity's existence. But with victory came the daunting task of dealing with the consequences of the invasion. In the days following the battle, the global focus shifted from combat to recovery. Cities that had been heavily damaged or destroyed were now the epicenter of humanitarian efforts. Teams of engineers, medics, and volunteers worked tirelessly to assess the damage and begin the rebuilding process. The scale of the destruction was staggering, but the resilience of humanity shone through as people from all walks of life came together to help. General Marcus Reed and his command staff were involved in the recovery efforts, overseeing the restoration of order and providing support to those affected by the conflict. They were praised for their leadership during the battle, but they knew that their work was far from over. Rebuilding infrastructure, addressing the needs of displaced populations, and ensuring that such a catastrophe would not happen again were all pressing concerns. Dr. Emily Carter and her team were hailed as heroes for their role in turning the tide of the battle. Their breakthrough in understanding the alien technology had been instrumental in the defeat of the invaders. Now, their work shifted to analyzing the remaining alien technology and ensuring that it could not be used against Earth in the future. Their research would also help in improving Earth's own defense systems. As the immediate dangers receded, a sense of cautious optimism began to take hold. The human forces had achieved an extraordinary victory, but the scars of the conflict were evident. Memorials were erected to honor those who had fallen, and moments of silence were observed to pay tribute to the bravery and sacrifice of soldiers, civilians, and volunteers alike. The impact of the invasion extended beyond physical damage. The psychological toll on the population was significant, with many grappling with trauma and loss. Support services were put in place to help individuals and communities cope with the emotional aftermath of the conflict. Counselors and mental health professionals worked to provide support and aid in the healing process. International relations also faced a new landscape. The alien invasion had united nations in a common cause, and there was a strong desire to maintain the cooperation and solidarity that had been forged during the crisis. Efforts were made to strengthen global alliances and ensure that Earth was better prepared for any future threats. The invasion had demonstrated the need for a united global defense strategy. As the weeks turned into months, progress was made in rebuilding and recovery. Cities began to show signs of renewal, with construction crews working to repair and replace damaged infrastructure. Technology from the alien invasion was carefully studied and integrated into new innovations, advancing human knowledge and capabilities. Despite the progress, the memory of the invasion remained a powerful reminder of the fragility of peace. The conflict had shown humanity's capacity for resilience and strength, but it also highlighted the need for vigilance and preparedness. The world had changed, and the lessons learned from the invasion would shape future policies and strategies. In the end, the aftermath of the alien invasion was marked by a blend of recovery and reflection. The victory over the alien forces was a testament to human bravery and ingenuity, but it also served as a reminder of the ongoing challenges and responsibilities. As Earth moved forward from this dark chapter, there was a renewed sense of hope and determination to build a better, safer world. The story of the invasion and the subsequent recovery would be remembered as a defining moment in human history. It was a time when people came together in the face of unprecedented adversity, demonstrating that even in the darkest times, the strength and spirit of humanity could overcome the greatest of challenges. A new beginning. The aftermath of the alien invasion marked a new chapter for Earth, one filled with hope and the promise of a fresh start. The battle had been fierce, and the scars of war were still visible, but humanity was determined to move forward and build a brighter future from the ashes of conflict. In the months following the defeat of the alien fleet, the focus shifted from recovery to rebuilding and renewal. Cities that had once been ravaged by the invasion were slowly coming back to life. Construction crews worked around the clock, repairing infrastructure and replacing the buildings that had been destroyed. The landscape was transforming, with new developments rising from the ruins. General Marcus Reed, now a symbol of leadership and resilience, played a key role in guiding the rebuilding efforts. His leadership during the crisis had earned him widespread respect, and he continued to oversee the restoration of order and infrastructure. General Reed worked closely with local leaders and engineers to ensure that the rebuilding process was both efficient and effective. Dr. Emily Carter and her team were also deeply involved in the new era of recovery. Their research on alien technology had led to significant advancements in human science and engineering. The technology that had once been used to threaten Earth was now being repurposed for the benefit of humanity. Innovations in energy, communications, and defense were rapidly developed, inspired by the knowledge gained from the invasion. The experience of the invasion had brought nations together, fostering a sense of global unity. International cooperation became a cornerstone of the new world order. Nations collaborated on rebuilding efforts, sharing resources, and working together to ensure that Earth was prepared for any future threats. The invasion had shown the strength that came from unity, and this newfound solidarity was a powerful force for positive change. The emotional recovery of the global population was a critical part of the healing process. Support services continued to provide aid to those affected by the trauma of the invasion. Community events, memorials, and counseling services helped individuals and families cope with their experiences. The collective spirit of resilience and hope was evident in the way people came together to support each other. One of the most significant changes was the establishment of a new global defense initiative. The lessons learned from the invasion led to the creation of a unified defense system designed to protect Earth from any potential threats. The Global Defense Force was equipped with advanced technology and strategies, ensuring that humanity would be better prepared for any future challenges. As the world began to rebuild, a sense of optimism and renewal took hold. The scars of war were still present, but they were seen as symbols of strength and perseverance. The global community looked forward to a future where the lessons of the past would guide their actions and decisions. The focus was on creating a world that was not only safer, but also more connected and collaborative. The invasion had been a defining moment in human history, but it was also a catalyst for positive change. The unity and determination that emerged from the conflict paved the way for a new era of progress and cooperation. The global community was committed to using the experience of the invasion to create a better world for future generations. In the end, the new beginning was marked by a renewed sense of purpose and hope. The world had faced a tremendous challenge and had come through it with courage and resilience. As humanity looked to the future, there was a strong belief that the strength and spirit demonstrated during the invasion would continue to guide their efforts. The story of the invasion and its aftermath was one of triumph over adversity. It was a testament to the power of unity, innovation, and determination. As Earth embarked on this new chapter, the legacy of the conflict served as a reminder of the extraordinary potential that could be achieved when people came together in the face of the greatest challenges. The new beginning was not just a fresh start, but a promise of a brighter, stronger future for all.